And there's lots of interpretations of their experience. I've even heard ones that are focused upon the fact that they were a mixed race couple. That Barney was African American, Betty was white. This was in the turbulent 1960s. They would have trouble with their neighbors. That there was a lot of pressure on their relationship. And I've seen cultural interpretations that suggest that if you think about it, you have a story of these strangers coming down and poking and prodding at you and pulling you apart. And guess what? Those creatures are gray, a mixture between black and white. And I've seen some pretty compelling interpretations that suggest that this is the source of Betty's nightmares in the first place.
Well, that wasn't that also what in order to decide whether or not they were trying to figure out whether or not she could be telling the truth, and they ultimately decided, it's a lie, it's just her psychological issues with being a mixed race couple. Wasn't that like their official observation for their story?
Well, Ben Simon, who was the who conducted the hypnosis, the regression on Betty and Barney, he ultimately thought at first he thought that that was the probable explanation for her nightmares in the first place. But he became much more convinced upon hearing their stories that perhaps they actually had an anomalous experience. So when you're saying they, I'm not sure who you mean. There's certainly some skeptics out there who would say that this was, well, there's some skeptics out there who just say that the two of them were lying for attention. And there's some skeptics out there that say, no, they were sincere, but this was really just them misinterpreting trauma that they were facing.
Right.
So there's unfortunately for any given UFO story, there's 100 different possible explanations, right?